everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Spryngy Says. You're here with me, Shreya Vaidya, founder and marketer at Spryngbase, a community for AI forward legal professions. And I have here with me Gilles Oldenbergs.
Hello, I'm Jill, the co-founder of Spryngbase, and I've been working as a solution architect for a couple of years now.
All right, perfect. So, Gilles, let's get right into it. The first take by Spryngy is Claude for legal is going to transform the way legal professionals work. What's your view on it?
Yeah, it's pretty insane that Claude just launched AI for legal. We've seen a lot of, let's say, SaaS tools focused on AI for legal. And now they just launched it out of the blue, like, listen, here we have a new application of Claude. But there are some concerns. Can you guess the concerns?
Data, data, data.
Exactly. Data, data, data. So what actually happens with your data when you put it into Claude? And an even more worrying risk with using Claude for AI legal. I have some questions about the guardrails of Claude. Is it trained on specific legal frameworks? For example, let's take a lawyer from Belgium. If he requires some local nuance, well, can Claude provide that local nuance, or does it more project international law answers or US law answers, for example? So there is a big chance of hallucination and giving a wrong answer that might look confident towards the lawyer that uses Claude for AI. So I still have some questions about, let's say, the efficiency of Claude for legal and whether or not it will replace the existing SaaS legal tools.
That's a big claim, huh? Replacing existing SaaS legal tools. I mean, it's changing so quickly. You had Mike OS, a couple of days ago, and now this. So yeah, it really remains to be seen how things are going to change, but it's definitely not going to be the same thing that we see today in 6 months or even a year.
Yeah, exactly. An AI tool vendor we recently spoke to, he said, yeah, we don't want to be a Swiss knife by providing all these features, but it looks like the industry, or let's say the big players, are really moving towards providing that Swiss knife. But it seems to be, let's say, we need to be a bit hesitant about the quality that can be delivered. Um, so yeah, looking forward to the new features that it will bring.
Yeah, all of these sort of predictions are currently in the shadows. And speaking of shadows, our topic for today is shadow IT.
That's a very good segue, Shreya.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. So when we talk about shadow IT, could you highlight for our listeners what it exactly is?
Yeah, sure. So shadow IT is a very common term with us technology professionals. So it's actually IT that is not allowed for the employees of your firm to be used. There is no governance or approval from, let's say, the owner of the company to the employees to use that software because software can be risky to use in business. Think about cybersecurity or GDPR data of your clients.
Mhm.
So I will give an example for lawyers. So a lawyer copies a client contract into a free AI tool, for example, to get a summary or to get, let's say, a draft contract. And the
Mhm.
answer is very useful. The lawyer saves a lot of time and the client gets a faster and better service. But
Mhm.
nobody knows where the contract went to, whether the data was stored on the AI tool, which was free, or whether the tool will be used to train a new model, and if the firm allowed to use it in this case. So yeah, we don't know where the data went to, the contract went to, and also the firm or the owner of the firm has no idea that this happened because it was used on a tool that the employee used themselves or found for free on the internet themselves. So that shadow IT is a big risk for GDPR data for a company and also as a professional yourself.
Mhm. Mhm. And you know, of course, there will be, let's say, guardrails and information around what tools can or cannot be used. But so, how does shadow IT even occur?
Well, it's very, and I've noticed that myself when I was working as a solution architect. If you know that there are tools present that can do it, you find something on the internet or in newsletters, oh, that could be a handy tool, and you have hard deadlines, you have a lot of repetitive work, and your company or your firm is not following in that, let's say, technology advancement as quickly as others. So you're very keen to try it out, experiment with it, but it comes with the risk, as I said before, of leaking data or even to get the firm hacked in some cases. So yeah, it's pressure from the job and wanting to make your job more efficiently will get you in contact with shadow IT, or it will be very tempting to do so. If you do not, if a firm does not provide the necessary tools, or in this case, AI, to make your job more efficient.
Yeah. And you spoke a bit about the risks for law firms, GDPR, professional secrecy. Is there any other major risks that legal professionals should be aware of when,
Yeah.
using shadow IT?
Yeah, it was the same with what we said with Claude. So also hallucination is a big problem. If you find a tool and you just jump into it without looking clearly what is the quality that the output will give you, there is also a big risk of hallucination. Also, it's GDPR is based on your client data or your personal data, but there is also a professional secrecy. Imagine you use templates or information from the company and you just put it on the AI. There's a big, or on the free AI, there's a big risk that it will be leaked or used to train new models, and that's something that we don't want to.
Yeah, and then I can imagine, like you said, AI sort of accelerates this whole problem, right? You had free tools that people could use that were non-AI, and now you have AI, which learns and grows. So, what's your take on shadow AI?
Yeah, exactly. So for now, every AI tool that disappears, there are five new ones. It's very common with Lovable or Cursor, like development tools and side tools. You see that a startup can come from nowhere in like a couple of weeks. So we also see a bigger risk with that because anyone with a laptop, some interest into AI and or coding can make an AI tool, and you don't
Mhm.
know where the data in that AI tool goes to. So you can just run into a website and you find a tool that's made by one person and you don't know which commercial obligation he has, or if he understands the risk of the data that has been put into the tool himself. You don't know if he follows the law with your data, and that is a big risk. And the AI tool might look professional because with these new tools, which make development easy, it's also easy to make the AI tool look professional, as it was been made by a company with a couple of million users, or a couple of millions in revenue. So yeah, you should be really careful about which AI tools you use. Definitely if they're free.
Okay. And if you had to advise firms on what they should do to sort of minimize the risk of their employees using shadow AI, what would you advise them?
I would definitely advise some steps that they can take. So the first one is to map your workflows. Make sure that you have everything that has been done and that you want to use AI for in your firm, that they are mapped so you understand the processes that you do. Then you should identify the data that goes into these workflows. So is there sensitive data and which can leave the firm, as say a communication and an email towards a client, and which cannot leave the firm. Then you should
Mhm.
list all the tools that your employees use. So you can also map what is the infrastructure of our software. So we use that tool for this process, we do use that tool for this process, and the data that communicates between the tools. Then you should classify which cases are low, medium, or high risk. So in which tool is which data used. So if this tool has a high risk data, it should be let's say, common sense to be also more careful in choosing an AI tool to work into that tool infrastructure. The next step is to approve the AI tools for these specific workflows. So you can then research AI tools which have been, let's say, have good reviews, have a clear data policy. You know where the data is stored. Is it in the US? Is it in Europe? And the next step is to train your employees. So make sure that they know how to use the AI tools, which data can enter the AI tools and which data cannot. And as a last step, you should review your AI tools regularly. So it goes really quickly with AI now. There are constantly new tools being born, as I may say it like that, and a lot of tools disappearing. So it's very important that there's also no vendor login, that you not pay, for example, a full year, and after 3 months, your Claude legal appears and other SaaS AI tools disappear, and you're stuck with let's say no tool, and you've paid the bill already for a full year. So that's also very important to take into account.
Okay, no, I think that's a very good summary of the key measures people can take to help avoid the risk of shadow IT. Is there any parting words that you would like to say with regards to this topic to our listeners today?
Yeah, sure. The future is not about choosing between AI and no AI. The future is about choosing between invisible AI use and governed AI use. So your employees, if you do not provide them with a clear strategy about AI in your firm, they will use AI either way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, that's great advice. So, with that, I would like to thank all our listeners for being here. So, we started our podcast with Spryngy's Takes. It's actually our newsletter that you can subscribe to. The links is in our show notes. Next week, we'll cover take two. If you want to get all seven takes, then please subscribe to the newsletter. Thank you very much for your time, Jill. And to all of you, we'll see you next week.
See you.